This is AM 1430 KRGI and 105.5 FM. And a Community Connection on Wednesday features the Central District Health Department as we have Jessica Hammers with us. And Jessica, tell us a bit about your role with the CDHD.
Yeah, so I guess my title is Environmental Health Specialist. Most people just would know that as a health inspector. So we do a variety of different things. A lot of it is the food permitting and inspecting. Other things that we do is like your vector abatement, so mosquito tracking, tracing, trapping, all of that kind of fun stuff. But we also kind of do any of your nuisance complaint stuff when it comes to health issues in our town, in our county, daycares, permits for tattoo places, animal places, a lot. We do a lot of different things. But today we're hoping to teach people about some tips when they're cooking their Thanksgiving turkeys.
You bet. This, sometimes when they see you walk in the door, the health inspector is here. Today, it's a friendly reminder. We're not going to be fining people. We want to keep you healthy with Thanksgiving coming up.
Right. So I guess just to jump into it, when we're thinking about how we're going to cook our turkey, first thing we got to get it thawed out properly and early. So there's 3 ways you can thaw it out: either under cold running water, stick it in the refrigerator, which in that case it would be about 24 hours per 5 pounds of turkey. So this could take a few days. If it's underwater, then 30 minutes per pound, or if it's part of the cooking process, such as like in a roaster or microwave or something like that. And
are there wrong ways to do it? I mean, I'm sure these are the right ways.
Right.
Have you heard the horror stories that make people sick about, not thawing your turkey or maybe, leaving it out too long? Tell us a bit about that.
Correct. Don't just leave it out on the counter for X amount of hours or overnight and then cook it the next day or something like that. Obviously, that would be not good for the bacterial load in there. So that's definitely a way to get you sick.
We are talking with Jessica Hammers. Thanksgiving is coming up. It's hard to believe that we are that close, but she talked about the thawing. Tell us a bit about the cooking, the proper way to prepare your bird.
Yeah, so I guess whatever you prefer, as far as if you're gonna roast it, you're gonna bake it, or you're gonna deep fry it, however you want to do it. But make sure that internal temperature reaches 165. They almost always come up with that little pop-up thermometer there that says, that's done. But make sure you actually put a meat thermometer in there. In that deepest part of the meat there is 165, keeping in mind that it's hollow in there. So the deeper you go, it could be getting hotter, but in between the top and the middle could be a not quite done area.
We're talking with Jessica from the Central District Health Department about cooking your turkey. And I know it seems like it's been maybe a modern or a moderately recent deal where people deep fry the turkeys. Have you heard any horror stories about that aspect of it in terms of health safety?
Not as far as the cooking of the food, the food safety side of it. Obviously, there's all the horror stories and the videos you see about them not having it thawed out before you dunk it in the fryer. Right. But as long as it's reaching temperature and like you have thawed it out correctly, I think you should be good on that if that's your preferred choice.
And if you don't thaw it out, is that when you get the whole big oil thing?
I haven't done that yet, but
kaboom?
I think that's where the YouTube videos come into play.
Just for the fun of it, you don't do that at the Central District Health Department just to test stuff out?
We haven't yet.
I would, from a safety standpoint, let's go outside and check this out. No, okay.
Experiment day.
Yep. We are talking with Jessica Hammers, Central District Health Department, about some turkey tips. Thanksgiving is coming up, and most people don't finish all of that turkey. You're going to have the leftovers. Tell us a bit about some things to think about in the leftover standpoint.
Right. So, have your meal, enjoy it, and then make sure everything gets put back into the fridge. Your leftovers, no more than 2 hours sitting out. If you get them out later, great. But make sure they're cooled down properly and divide up your leftovers so it's not just, the bird sitting in its whole carcass form, that you're throwing in there, because it's going to take a lot longer to cool if we don't divide it up into reasonable smaller portions. And then as far as what to do with those leftovers, just make sure they're used up within 4 days. If that's the casserole and then the soup or whatever. But, by the end of 4 days, make sure it's done, because we're also taking into account those thawing days as well. We don't want to make anybody sick. So.
Now, what about if you do, okay, we got a lot of turkey, we're freezing some of it. Is that okay? And then the rethawing there, is that a little different consideration?
Sure. So the way freezing works, basically think of it like you're freezing it in time. So if you've used it for 2 days, then you still have an additional 2 days once you pull it out of the freezer. So always just keep in mind how old it was when it got frozen, and then add that to how much you have left.
So the 4 days doesn't start over from a freezing standpoint. Once you get it back out, it needs to be gone within like 2 days. Huh?
Right.
Interesting. That's why she is an expert here from the Central District Health Department. Did we miss anything? Is there anything else you want to talk about in terms of what you do or turkey tips or anything?
I mean, I guess we're always available. We're not trying to be the bad guys. We just want to inform people and help everybody be safe, if that's the restaurants, if that's whatever, but down to even your big gatherings or small family-ish get-togethers. But just reach out if you have any questions. That's what we're here for. And
you mentioned the fact that that's, like I say, the health inspector's coming. This is probably a little more fun for you, where you can kind of be a little proactive and we're not finding anybody. We're trying to help you before anything happens.
Yeah, exactly.
She is Jessica Hammer, Central District Health Department, as we talk turkey from AM 1430 KRGI and 105.5 FM.